Well, there's a few news stories that caught my attention. Just coming up tomorrow starts the machine learning class. If you want to take it, it's not worth any college credit, though, because the college bureaucracy is slow about turning it into a real class. But I'm teaching it for people who want to learn it because it's very important to learn. And on Saturday is the invitational. You can come practice defending a network from attackers. Anybody's welcome. You don't need to register or anything. And it's worth extra credit, and it's a very good experience. So those things. The job fair is coming up in a couple of weeks on Zoom. So go there if you want to get an internship or a job from the people we have. We have about 10 regular employers that show up and hire our students for positions. So, all right, those are the local things. And for the news, so AI has bots. Now, Google has bots that search the web to populate their search engine. It just clicks on every page and downloads like the first 2,000 characters off every page and so on. But the AI bots harvest all that data and train on it. And so people don't like them very much. They say they're just stealing our content. They aren't paying us. So they're hostile. So what this guy did is he made a website where the website will just generate some links, and those links will just go back to the same website, and every page you open will just open more links that go back to the same website. It just keeps randomly changing it. So it appears to be a huge, complicated website, and the bot will just spend forever trying to crawl that website. So it's a tar pit. And this is an old trick. Another really old tar pit is for SSH. You can configure your SSH server to just be really slow. So people try to log in, but every character takes like 5 seconds to go up, go and come back. This is what you do to like irritate hackers or people that are trying to guess passwords. You just put them in a place where everything is super slow and it will waste their time. So anyway, that's one small way to fight back. So just before Biden left, he had an executive order stopping some investigations into all the news agencies, because Trump has said over and over he really wants to punish any news agency that would have anything about him he doesn't like, whether it's true or not. And so now his new FCC chair has started, again, bias complaints against CBS, ABC, and NBC. Obviously, they would like to shut down MSNBC. He said he wants to jail people who are the anchors on these sites and stuff. This is common in fascist regimes, that you can't say anything bad about the leader. And in other countries, it's just the law. Like in Thailand, you cannot insult the king. If you put up a tweet saying something bad about the king, they will just lock you up. It's illegal. And Trump wants it to be that way here. Now, there is that irritating First Amendment, but the current Supreme Court doesn't seem to give a damn about the Constitution. So we'll see. But anyway, he's moving forward with this stuff. Yeah, I see. All right, so anyway, that should have closed that window. Let's see. There, that did. Right. So the FBI is pretty scary. I mean, the National Security Agency has been, ever since the Patriot Act in 2001, they've been just harvesting tons of data. Anything they can claim is related to terrorism, they can harvest it, and they never have to be investigated or prove that anything they said about it was true. And in addition, what they're supposed to only spy on foreigners, but since they're watching the internet and telephone calls, the foreigners are typically talking to Americans. So they get a bunch of information about Americans too, which the NSA is not allowed to use. So they hand it off the FBI, and the FBI has been using this illegally obtained data to punish Americans. And they've had a variety of extremely questionable arguments as to why this should be legal when it clearly violates the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment says you can't just go invade someone's privacy hoping to find a crime. You have to have evidence that they did a bad thing and go to court and get a search warrant and say, I already have probable cause that they've done something illegal. You can't just go spying through everybody's life looking for trouble. And so they had a recent argument where they claimed that they had a bunch of data, and since they had like an automated process that scooped off all this data, they should be allowed to use it because they already have it, even though they didn't have probable cause. And the judge shot that down. He said, that's not a good argument. The fact that you already have it doesn't make it legal. Quite the opposite. So that's nice to see. Anyway. Yeah, there are a few judges out there that are not insane, So now Android has a new security feature. Apple did this about 2 years ago. They added a special enhanced security mode to try to stop Predator. When there's two, Pegasus and Predator, I think, are the malwares that people put on iPhones that really means they own your whole life. And so they put a special lockdown mode in the iPhone to prevent it. And Android has a new thing to try to prevent this stuff too. Identity check. It will lock sensitive settings behind biometric authentication when you're outside a trusted location. So if you're at home, you'd be able to adjust your phone, but if your phone is not at home, you'd have to have the right face, your fingerprint. So this makes sense to stop a thief who stole your phone from being able to turn off security features. So it seems like a good idea. And a little bit less drastic than the Apple thing. The Apple thing actually breaks a lot of things. So they say you probably don't want to turn it on unless you're really like a highly targeted individual, like a journalist or something. It restricts the operation of your phone significantly, but it does protect it from advanced attempts to hack in. So I saw more stories about this all the time. So Subaru, I have a really old car. My car is completely stupid. No internet, no smart features at all. So I'm out of this game. But all the modern cars are computers on wheels. They're connected. They have all these remote control features. So you can like log into a website and you can remotely turn on the engine and stuff. And so they found that the websites were spectacularly insecure. They were able to reset passwords for other accounts by just knowing the email address. So they're able to get into accounts. They were able to just connect to cars just by knowing some number that you could find out about the car, not a password and so on. So they found a lot of these. And you could also find an entire year of detailed history online available to anybody of everywhere you've been for a whole year, which of course tells them everything about your life. You're going to the doctor, if you're going to someplace you shouldn't go, like a brothel or anything, go to a church, go to a political meeting. You know, this is really invasive. And it's still up there.
So they pinpointed a specific location or just the zip code?
The exact location and the time for a whole year of history. So that's really more information. You couldn't, if you were police, you couldn't even get a search warrant to get that much data. It would be limited to like 30 days or 90 days typically. This is crazy that this kind of data is being retained by them and handed out. Now they've changed it so only internal people in the company can see that data. And so they're saying that's not really that great either, but at least it's better than sloppily letting the whole world get it. But it turns out almost every modern car has similar flaws. They have a whole list of car models that they found similar things in, not just Subarus, but a lot of others, Toyota and many others. Because they're smart and the server apps controlling that smart feature are not as secure as they should be, they have these vulnerabilities. So that's a pretty interesting story.
Many articles that we are reading or that we students are researching for the submissions, I seem to perceive the same underlying theme. This big company, either they violate their own rules or they don't give a damn.
Yes.
I was posting for the discussion, for one of the discussions, the article. An article, actually, is very recent. The New York State Federal Commission, something in New York State, gave a fine to PayPal, $2 million fine. Why? Because PayPal was found liable the data breach. Why the data breach? Because the people that were employing were not trained in cybersecurity.
Right.
And they were managing main cybersecurity functions.
Yeah.
And also they So no, this is PayPal. Then I'm going to say another article. This article instead is was another company that was Ford. Ford also had a data breach, and so they did the investigation, and Ford claimed that what is at fault is the third-party apps.
Right.
Because what they do, these third-party apps, first of all, they violated the confidentiality. So they scoop, they collect all the user data, even if they don't have the authorization.
Yeah.
And then there is something technical that these third-party apps produce on your computer. So something happened in terms of freezing or overflowing something, but it's not a buffer overflow.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that creates again the breach.
Yeah.
And these are big tech companies.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I mean, this is why defense is so hard. This is a hard business. There's so many mistakes to make, and everybody's always rushing to put out a new product and trying to, and so I know it's all because of Moore's law. Everything keeps changing. You never have time to catch up.
Yeah, but what I blame is What I blame is the public relations that those companies do, because we put trust in these in
Yeah.
these companies because they say, oh wow, they are the big techs. Instead, no, the big techs is behaving exactly as the private consultant, that
Yeah.
violates, the due diligence.
Yeah, well, I think that is something to get over. The big tech companies are not really able to keep track of all the problems any better than anybody else. And they just have a lot more to lose. Like, I mean, Facebook got sued so many times for leaking out all the data. Originally, Facebook's entire master database with everything was available on the web, and the password was happiness. Just a common English word, easy to guess. They eventually got sued for that, but they keep making similar mistakes. It's this is capitalism, right? I mean, instead of things being developed carefully and tested first, everybody just rushes to market as fast as they can.
Right, but then it's also, that these coders are kids. These are young people that they don't think with experience, in trying.
Well, that's why you hopefully would have management, but this is a problem. That's why people are arguing certain things should probably be nationalized, like healthcare. Right now we have a for-profit healthcare, so they have the insurance companies that seem to do nothing except jack up the price and deny claims, and people just like one guy jacked up the price of a drug to like 1,000 times what it cost because he could.
The
And so,
shredding guy?
yes, and so, your capitalism is not necessarily the best way to do certain things because it leads to this. Anything that gets more money happens, ignoring the side effects.
Capitalism needs to be massaged.
Yeah, it needs to be regulated. That's why you need like government regulations to limit the abuse of it. And unfortunately, we're not headed in that direction. We're headed to a gilded age of laissez-faire capitalism where the rich people just take whatever they want and sell you food with poison in it and everything else.
Yeah, I believe within this year we will have a clear direction where we are going.
I think we already can see the direction from the executive orders is just what he said he was going to do. Take down all the guardrails and let the rich just trample the poor. That's the Republican position. Anyway, all right, I'm going to stop the news. We've had enough of that.